When Kenyans go to the polls on August 8th, it will be as much about the country's past as the future, a test for democracy and political stability in one of Africa's most developed countries. If Kenyans are on edge, it's with good reason. These images are burned into the national psyche. The disputed outcome of the 2007 election triggered 2 months of conflict that quickly spiraled into ethnic violence. More than 1,200 people were killed and roughly 500,000 fled their homes. It was the worst bloodshed the country had seen since independence in 1963. The 2013 elections were largely peaceful, but failing electronic tallying equipment stoked voter concerns of fraud and prompted the opposition to take its complaints to the Supreme Court. Several people died in protests. This year's presidential race is a rematch between familiar opponents. Incumbent President Uhuru Kenyatta rose to power in 2013 as Kenya's youngest head of state. The wealthy son of Kenya's first president is seeking a second term in office. His ruling Jubilee Party is new. It was formed last year in a merger of 12 political parties that support the president. Kenyatta faces Raila Odinga. The veteran politician and former Prime Minister Kenyatta beat in 2013. Odinga has run for president 3 times before and comes from one of Kenya's most powerful political families. He leads the National Super Alliance, an umbrella for all parties opposed to Kenyatta. The president is touting economic growth as he lays out his case for re-election, saying his government has funded the most aggressive development drive in the country's history. He's playing down problems that have plagued his administration: deadly terror attacks, strikes by teachers, nurses and doctors, failing banks, and a string of corruption scandals that have drained government coffers of tens of millions of dollars. The opposition has turned these failings into a rallying call. Security and rampant corruption are likely to take center stage, alongside the government's handling of a severe drought that has driven up food prices and fueled inflation. The shortage of maize, a staple food for most Kenyans, also known as unga, has spawned the election hashtag Unga Revolution. Kenyans have increasingly turned to social media to debate election issues amid concerns of political bias in the mainstream media. There is something new this cycle: the political map. In 2013, Kenya began devolving power to its 47 counties to manage local infrastructure. This approach has heightened tensions. Parts of Kenya saw small-scale violence and protests during chaotic primaries earlier this year. Dozens of primary races had to be suspended and rerun. It's a political tightrope that has given international observers a glimpse of potential fault lines in the upcoming polls. Elections are by their very nature divisive, and Kenyans have a history of voting largely along ethnic lines. The International Monetary Fund is warning that political instability could slow growth in Kenya's $69 billion economy, putting progress at risk in one of Africa's most volatile regions. Hayde Fitzpatrick, VOA News, Washington.